Good morning. Well, I think we're in for a little choppy action here. Um, Trend is broken on the futures here. Got a break and close below the prior swing low, what we call major support. Go sideways trend, and now can it break this level? So this is a really critical level here because we've got three pivot lows clustered in this area. You can see, and it'd be a significant break of support. It's already broken down under the 50 and it's regained it. So before I would consider a long here, would need a considerable amount of damage repair as a retest and some sideways price action here. This has violated the trend. So I think you're going to get some chop, eventually probably move lower. We'll see where that all goes. As you can see, we've got weekly reversals all over the place. At a minimum, a stall in the uptrend. We'll just have to see as for how far it goes here. But we've got a crack, wide range bar, igniting to the downside, and starting to turn lower here. Had a little breakout failure there. As you can see, it's a little clearer right there, and sitting right on some support here. Everybody's going to be waiting to see what happens with the short squeezes and where they go and what the market does and all of that stuff and what we do every day. SPX, looking at where the premium is, you got to get pretty close above 3,800 to get some premium. I've got 38.10, 38.15. We'll see what the markets do here at the open, whether they can pop up a little bit more. And if they do, we can get a little further away. If the premiums pop up, you got to go. I'm thinking, since we've got this significant level of support here, and there is premium down below 36.50. So I think that is going to be a good bet for today. Um, Down below this area, things are up, so they have to travel. They have to travel to get down to the overnight low here already, since they're all the way up here looking at the futures. And so that's where we could possibly get, it's up here. Maybe if we get the retest, there'll be buyers down there. And we're really going to get a glimpse at that point as to the strength or the lack thereof of buyers to hold this area as we get a retest of that. Or by chance, if it can get back up above into here, things begin to change. We were saying, well, things are really whippy and erratic. So perfect short area to short the futures, it very well may be. It's probed this. The depth of retracement from here down up to here is pretty strong. I'd like to see some sideways price action here. Unless it just cracks right at the open. If it pops back up and makes a higher high and then starts to roll, and we've got a little bit of a larger area, I do like that as a short, and then looking for that potential retest of the lows. Sentiment's still bad. Where's my chart? Yeah, I went over this in the weekend letter. Breadth is down here, but sentiment is way up here, so no signal. They both have to agree. That doesn't mean this can't bounce a little because breadth has gotten down to a bullish level. It certainly can go lower. With sentiment up here historically, you get a little push up, the next leg down could push this down around minus 300, and this could come down into these lower bands where we know historically we have high odds of getting stabilization and a more meaningful bounce at that point. So we're nowhere near there yet. So we'll see. This is still way, way up there. This guys, give me 1 second, please. Um, Lamb put spread 36.45. Well, 36, yeah, I think that's far enough away, trader. I said 30, below 36.50. I mean, that's right there. So, again, just looking here at the futures, SPX will open where it, in relation to this red bar about the middle. And let's go back to SPX. Middle 36.45. Yeah. Right. So you've got Friday's low as a reference point that it'll have to break through, and that could be the double bottom. And then you've got all this cluster here at 36.50. So 36.45 is a reasonable level. Even if it goes down there, it should bounce. And that's what we want. Whereas, if it was already down here, say it's tomorrow and it's already down here, and we're saying, hey, you know what about 3,600? It's a whole number. Well, maybe, but there's little to no support to stop it. So one of the concepts is, well, how far does it have to travel to hit your strike and your spread? What's in front of it? And in this case, we got two relatively significant levels for intraday purposes in front of that strike, which makes it a high probability, setup. All right, let's look at the rest. We've got a pretty good bounce in the NQs there, relatively deep into this area. Now, it's right on the pivot low and that major support there. So the depth of retracement moves this to a sideways trend. It's one of my rules, which I just call like a common sense rule. While it hasn't violated that low and closed below it, if it retraces more than 80%, the trend is definitely in question. So the way it came down very sharply, this could just be a lot of jiggles. We don't know where this bar is going to end, of course. It's the beginning of the day. But if it was to look like this, then I would want to see another day holding here where our long-term intraday chart would begin to form a bottoming process and get away from these pivots. This is the problem when you get these overlapping bars that are right next to each other. You've got all this mess, to the left. So what we want to see is this come down, maybe hold that area, another day going sideways or so. And, if that was all happen, this begins to look like that was the low, like it was a little shakeout. And the next days are up above, the lows are above that one. But we'll have to see how it all plays out, Right now, a bit uncertain. It's down at support. Buyers are there. Breadth is at a bullish extreme. Sentiment's not. So just chart wise, trend wise, internals wise, to see stabilization at a minimum. Yes, I am. Similar story. It's gotten weaker. It's got this double top. It made the little peekaboo, new all-time high, and then came down. The depth of retracement, it's on support here. We're going to deal with some chop here as traders kind of figure out, how far can this thing bounce? Is it, is it a shorting opportunity that we haven't had for quite a while? Because there's a void below here, and this could make a significant move lower, which of course equals making money. When we have a void versus top, and we've got a topping pattern, and this begins to roll over, we've got sentiment where it is. Hey, if we get a little bounce here over the next couple of days, and those internals come up towards zero, right? So here's the scenario: the internals, this breadth, so that comes up toward the zero line. This is still up here. This is starting to fail and roll over. It's a perfect historical scenario for making a significant move lower. Most, we don't have that yet, so we're here to collect that information and see how it unfolds. Okay, so we're getting a reversal in the Russell. So really not, there's no pivot there, but a cluster of sideways price action, but it's turning. It's broken below the 20, which is, a little bit of support there. Moving averages are always subjective, whereas the 50 is more in alignment with some significant price support. So as I look at this and I say, well, what if this was green like that? Well, big deal. This move down was pretty powerful. I would be thinking this fails and a measured move to the downside, where coming down here, I really like that setup, whereas, and maybe even a little bit below it, because it sets up a weekly buy setup. So one of the scenarios that we'll be looking for is further correction that doesn't damage the weekly time frame to set up a buy setup and internals supportive of that. We don't have it yet. So again, we're in that mode of, hey, can this be another miracle turn like some of the ones we saw in the past, or is this going to be, a correction that takes this down a little further? Bonds are up here a little bit, no big deal, and they're just kind of hanging there, as we all, we've been talking about for a while, looking for them to go lower down to that level down there. And crude oil hanging in there, like that bull flag type of pattern, right on the 20, supposed to go up. Well, let's see if it does. It would be a little bit of a shock if it didn't, because this is a nice bullish pattern of a consolidation after a run up. It created a pivot, so it made new support, and the pattern historically that goes up. David's asking me, $CPC is your sentiment. Oh, so if you go to stockcharts.com, $CPC, maybe it's in others. The breadth internal is just regular old McClellan oscillator, nothing special. It's not one of these, they have one that's kind of what they call normalized for all of the decades. So if you go back in history, you see it's kind of all wild, where it was in wider ranges. So anyway, I use it this way, and those bands that I put on there adjust for bull and bear markets. So I'll type the parameters for the bands. Nothing special, no special programming. They're just different. I'll tell you what they are when we're done here. All right. So gold went down. If you look at GLD, this is a big red bar. On Friday, it went down with everything else. This is still not looking great, but it still survived that. And we'll see where this ends today, where, last week I spoke about this becoming a head and shoulders type of a bottom. I know it's not symmetrical. I know it's not the textbook, but hey, pivot, lower pivot. It'll make a higher pivot, assuming today makes a higher high, a higher low bar, and it's got a void above. And we're all aware of the new short squeeze that is targeted for silver. And it's right up against resistance. So I don't mind jumping on board to help the cause, but the silver futures are at $30. Right? Whole number. It's at the top of the range here. And it may not be the easy short or squeeze as GME was or AMC. So it's gapped up. It's made a nice move overnight. There's even reports now, and I think maybe these dealers are just trying to help themselves a little bit, reporting that now all of a sudden there's shortages and they don't have silver. So it seems like everybody's kind of adding a helping hand to try and get this thing to rip higher, and maybe it does. But it is at resistance, and it moved up from 25 to 30. So let's just approach it intelligently, see if it backs off and what it does. And lastly, as we always do, we look at transports, which got whacked pretty good. Made the new high, broke down, closed under all of the support. It's into a void. So transportation stocks, FedEx looks like, what is going on over there? You know, even after moving down as much as it did, trying to stabilize, it's breaking lower again. So, some other bad signs, other than just looking at, the broader markets and the internals. You, Dan?
Good morning. Yeah, talking about FedEx, we were going to put UPS as a great idea, but it has earnings this week. Look at this. That looks horrible. Daily, weekly, monthly. That is an M top on the weekly, and it's cracking the neckline right now with an extended monthly. That's ugly. Yeah, the talk here over the weekend last week, I canceled this load, LODE, and I don't know if this, every time I see something ripping, last week sure put me on guard of, oh, is that a short squeeze candidate? But I gave this as a core long, not because I thought it was a short squeeze, but because look at that beautiful monthly. First target, $4. But now the gap's messing us up. I'll keep an eye on it. Oh, awesome, Atul. Awesome. But yeah, they're going after silver today. Um, and we thought it was very timely. We're going to have this Wednesday's MT Live on trading these short squeezes using our approach, which is chart analysis. When to get on board, when to fade them, when, like today, silver, there's nothing to do. We'll look at some of these individual stocks. PLL, this looks like a short squeeze candidate to me. Now it's gapping up. A number of these short squeezes are gapping up today. AMC gapping up here. What? Who knows? But I mean, to me, I thought these short squeezes were kind of over and they would move on to a new playground. But I don't know with today's gap. That's actually a bullish gap right there. I would never swing trade it, but maybe 30-minute high for day trade. I don't know. IPO. Well, it's up 3 bars, but all-time highs. I like the 15-minute. So yeah, it's a 15-minute candidate. Thomas is asking about back in UAA. Yeah, there's a back. It's down a lot. It's at the 50. I think we can find better, but if it takes out Friday's low, then it's fine. I like UAA better. Yeah, under the lows, I like it better. There's a number of, look at retail ripped here with the short squeezing. I also like Jets, airline sector short under Friday's low. That's a bearish breakdown, daily, weekly. DuPont here. I don't know what's making this gap down to 74 bucks, but that's an ugly gap. But I don't have a bias. I have no idea what's going to happen here, but it's rallied a couple bucks off the low. GTHX for Jake. Same, it's up 3 bars, but continuation. Sam F. Over Friday's high is fine. LI is a big sideways trading range mess to me. I don't have any interest in LI. ACTC, 26 bucks. It's right. See all these overlapping bars, so it's gapping right there to that resistance. So I don't know, 30-minute high. This Pub M here in the bottom right, this was on that short squeeze list. And I like the pattern. So this, I actually put it in our Facebook group. Let me give it to our subscribers right now too. I put it on Facebook, but this is a short squeeze candidate. There, so that's our traders. But that looks good. Pub M. YouTube's asking about Apple. It's down 4 bars on support, gapping up. So 15, you just got to play it by ear and see how the stock and the market holds at the open. But yeah, that's a definite day trade opportunity. Picking the 15, 30-minute high over this pre-market resistance. Yeah, I like it. MRVI. MRVI, never heard of that. Oh, yeah, that's a wide range igniting. It trades pretty sloppy, but Friday was your breakout bar. Ideally, you would get a 1, 2, 3, but I like it. It's worth watching. MGM short. Yeah, Friday's low. It's fine. Broke down daily, weekly. CDE. Yeah, I have a number of these silver stocks. But the problem is, you missed it. The thing ran from 750, and now, we're going to teach on Wednesday that if we get on these at the right point, then we're just going to enjoy the short squeeze ride. But if we don't get our entry, then there's nothing to do. You just got to pass on it. And I think that's a story with all these silvers are going to be too extended. I mean, look at CDE, cost 37 bucks. Again, 28, it's right near this prior high. It could set up for a day trade, which I'm not adverse to. It's actually bullish pre-market here. HL, look at that, 722 gap breakout. And these, I mean, this could totally go to 11 bucks. But the problem is, where's your stop right now? It's because there's absolutely no pattern to get on the daily chart. None, zero. But the 15 is holding well. And if it's genuinely a short squeeze, sure, it could go up. I like this pre-market a lot. It gapped up, and you have successive bear sandwiches. It doesn't want to go down right now. That looks good. Candy. It got slammed down on Thursday. I'd like it a lot better, but if you're telling me it's a short squeeze candidate, then I like it even better. Then you can start buying over Friday's high, and But if it's not a short squeeze candidate, then I say it needs more time. So this short squeeze phenomena we're in, and I think things have changed. I mean, they're a force to be reckoned with. So if it's a short squeeze candidate, which means does it have a huge short float, either yes or no, then that is hidden. Well, not hidden. It's pent up demand. So it gives us an edge, if you will, to the bullish bias, without a doubt. AMRN, no pattern for me. ABQ. Wow, nice. Yep. Let's continue here. Tesla got an upgrade. These people crack me up. Got an upgrade to like, I don't know, $1,200 or something. No pattern. No pattern. I like the Apple day trade. So Mo, no pattern. Otis had earnings. No pattern. Wow, that trade's like garbage. AMC, it's a bullish pre-market. No pattern. ASM, that's another oil. I'm not oil, another silver. There's SLV. ASM, that's another silver stock. Look at that, it's run from $1 to $3 in 4 days. IFF, bullish gap, but no pattern. Yeah, McGraw. Yeah. I meant to. Yeah, I actually meant to say that we have a number of bearish trades in our letters over the weekend, and not a single one of them bothers me, McGraw, because they will only trigger um, if we have follow through to the pattern. As always, I'll go through everything, obviously, but yes, as of right now, they're all fine. I had to cancel load. But this Pub M, I wish it wasn't gapping up so much, but I like it. I like the pattern as a short squeeze candidate. I'm not going to chase just because I don't do that, but I have it here in the bottom right. All right, so these airlines, LUV under Friday's low, QS had a bearish mention in Barron's. This is a short under Friday's low and a call spread candidate. AES, I liked Wednesday's 180 reversal. Keep an eye on that. UA, short under the lows. TGX, short under Friday's low. DPZ, bearish here, trades wildly, so you got to give it a big stop. But it looks like a top, daily, weekly, monthly. This is a mess, but